Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of Unpredictable Conversations. Today I am going to be talking about social media, life before social media, and just kind of where I see social media going, I guess. So I was, one day I was just thinking, I was like, when did social media become my life? Because I literally, every time I get on my phone, like, the first thing I open up is some sort of social media app. And I've had to fast or take breaks from using social media because every single time I open my phone, I have to, like, I'm on Instagram, I'm on Facebook, I'm on Twitter, I'm on all of those. And then sometimes I like exit out of an app to go into another app. And then because I'm so used to clicking on that app, I'll click on the same app that I just exited from. So I'm like, I have a problem. So I was just thinking, I'm like, what was life like before social media? Like, and the crazy thing is, for me, it's a little different because I guess you could say I, in a way, grew up with social media. So it's a little different from, let's say, an adult who was like actually an adult and they had to live real life and all of that. And then social media comes versus me being a kid. It's not like I'm allowed to have a phone. It's not like I'm allowed to have a computer to, you know what I'm saying? Like, those things are given to you. So I kind of grew up with social media, if that makes sense, versus if I was already an adult, I know what life is, you know what I'm saying? Like, I know how to live without having a phone, without having internet. And then to slowly transition to, okay, I have a phone, I can download apps on here, I can get everything else on here, which means I don't have to go to the store to get a newspaper. I don't have to turn on the news to figure out what's going on. Versus me, growing up, I'm playing, I'm kicking it, I'm doing all of this, and the next thing you know, okay, mom, can I have a phone? Cool, get a phone or get a computer, you know, and then everybody's like, oh, this is a cool thing, do this, get on here. So for me, it's a little different. But yeah, but social media basically started in 97. So let me see when Google started. Okay. So like in 97, it was a social media site that was called 6 Degrees. So basically it was kind of like the first social media platform of basically how we know it is today. So you could like send messages to people that you knew, and you can post like on a little bulletin board, like, you know how they have what's happening now on Facebook, and you post pictures on Instagram. So it was kind of like that, and I think that was just like the first start of social media as we know it. So that was in 97. And for me, social media started with MySpace. So before that, if I speak to anyone who's older than me, I think their first their first memory of anything social would be like AOL Messenger, Yahoo Messenger. So you're basically like getting on the internet to phone chat, you know, with people that you know. But my first time being able to be a part of the social media realm was MySpace. And MySpace came out in 2003. And they were the first site to reach 1 million active users monthly. And they did that, like, they were out for about a year or so before they actually like hit that. But I remember, like, you could only use MySpace on a laptop, as you could, I mean, around that time anyway, everything. But so you can like make your own little like profile, and what you would do was like you could add music, you would add like little glitter stickers or little like just little not blogs, but like little cutouts or whatever you call it. And then you could have like your top 5 friends and the top people. Like, so that was just really a time. And at that time, well, so if it came out in 2003, I didn't use it until I was like in middle school. So I didn't use it until like 2007-ish. Like, and then after like middle school, I only used it for probably like 2 years, and then Facebook became the most popular thing. And then after Facebook, then Instagram, and then after Instagram, Snapchat and Twitter, and then so. But I'm just like, I kind of miss life before social media. Like, I wasn't so obsessed with my phone, or I wasn't so obsessed with what other people were doing. I wasn't so obsessed with trying to project my best self for others, strangers, people that I know to see. And so I was just thinking about that. I'm like, that's just kind of not weird, but it's just kind of like, man, like social media is really like taking off. Like, it's kind of crazy. Like I said before, I got my degree in mass communications and multimedia. So with that, that's radio, that's television, and then now you're starting to add social media into that. You know what I'm saying? Like, now I can look up jobs to be a social media manager and to manage people's social media platforms and to help come up with ideas for people to be, you know what I'm saying? Like, everything is centered around social media now. And I just think it's just kind of funny how we're like going into an era where you have to have social media in order to be successful, because you can reach so many people. So it's like social media has its pros and its cons. And the pro to it is you can reach somebody all the way across the globe that you would have never ever met before, even heard from, had you not had this app where you can literally type something in and it'll like just reach those people. So I think that's a good thing with social media, but I think a bad thing with social media is just like you constantly comparing yourself and constantly trying to put out your best self so that people can, I don't want to say praise you, but like so that people can, see the good things that you're going through and not necessarily your whole life. And I think that's become more of a recent conversation. People are just like, well, people only put out the good things because it's easy to talk about or to put somebody down who's going through something. But if you see that they just got married, or you see that they just got this house, or you see that they just got this car, what else can you say but congratulations? But then there comes a time where jealousy starts to kick in, and people are like, well, my car is bigger, or I wish I had that house that they got, or whatever case may be. So I think it's just pros and cons to everything. But I just think it's kind of crazy how the progression of social media, and how we're in a life where if you don't have social media, you're like way behind. Like, you have to have social media in order to live, which sounds kind of crazy, but like literally every single business, just everything is centered around social media, because it's that new thing. If you don't have any type of social media account, you're like literally missing out, because there's a whole range of people that you can't just walk up to and say, hey, check out my business, or you can, travel to, that can, like, it's just easier to just get on social media and be like, hey, check out my podcast, versus me using word of mouth. That's just going to be with people that I know, or people that I call. Like, I only got people's phone numbers that I, that I know, and I can look up like businesses, phone numbers, but everything, like, it's easier to see it when it can reach the masses so quickly when everyone's on it, versus like radio. People don't listen to the radio anymore, versus TV. People don't really have cable Everyone's using streaming apps, which that's a whole different story in itself. But people are using streaming apps, so you don't have commercials, you don't have those type of things to insert and to promote yourself and to promote what you're doing. So I think that's kind of like the pro to social media. But I think another con is that you're looking for not everyone's approval, which is kind of what I just said, but you are looking for people to give you that, oh, like, congratulations, or girl, you're doing it big, or so you're kind of looking for others' approval. But the flip side of that is basically you're inviting negative comments. You're inviting that negative energy because anybody can comment. And now, what I'm saying, we have like privacy settings and all of that, but it's still kind of hard to get away from that because people be making burner accounts and using other people's identity, which is another con, because you don't know who's using your pictures. You don't know who's out there trying to act like you, like, hence the show Catfish. Like, you know what I'm saying? You don't, like, it's hard to tell what's fake and what's real when it comes to social media. But I think when you put yourself out there, you're going to get that, like, everything isn't going to be positive, which sucks. But you're going to get those people who are like, tearing you down. You're going to get those opinions that you don't really necessarily care about. And then you're also going to see, like, okay, like, well, that makes sense. I understand why they would think that way. I don't necessarily agree, but so there's back and forth. But I do think that I kind of feel like there's more negative things that come with social media more so than there is positive. So let me know in the comments what you guys think. Like, do you guys think social media is a good thing, or do you think social media is kind of turning into like a negative thing? Because I don't know, like, I like social media, but I can't really imagine what my life would be like without social media, because it's kind of weird. But like I said, since I grew up with social media, it's kind of hard to be like, well, before social media, I did this, and they're freaking cutting grass. Sorry if you guys hear that. They're gonna come back around. But it's kind of hard for me to be like, well, before social media, I was out at the bar kicking it. I was, what I'm saying? And that's another thing too. Like when you're out in public, like, you can't even enjoy each other's company because you're just so easily like, okay, pulling out my phone, I'm bored, let me scroll, instead of interacting with the person that you're out with, instead of interacting with your family and your friends. Your first instinct is to be like, so I think that's a con. Like, you're no longer interacting with people anymore. I'm sorry, guys. Like, I know they're gonna come back. I just know they're gonna come back. But you're not social. Like, being social is like being interactive, and you're being interactive online, but you're not being interactive with those around you. And I think that takes, social media takes that away. Another bad thing is basically, I mean, I kind of touched on this a little bit, but fake news. Like, you don't know what's real, you don't know what's fake. The good thing is that it's not even funny. The good thing is that, okay, for instance, for me, I don't like watching the news. Like, my mom growing up, which I think, I mean, just parents in general, just, like, you need to know what's going on around you. You need to know what's going on in the world, right? And so with that, Yeah, but it's also all negative stuff. And so if it was up to me to watch TV and to watch the news, I wouldn't know anything. But being on social media, I see stuff that I don't want to see. I see stuff that I need to see. So that's the good thing, is that it's another platform to present the information that you need. But the flip side of that is it could be fake. You know, people start stuff just for that interaction, just to have the likes, just to get the followers. And you know, you don't like, it's kind of hard to tell sometimes if something is real or if something is fake. So I think that's another con of social media. Another con is like every single thing is just like recorded, or you have to take a picture for Instagram, or you have to take a picture for Facebook. Like you feel the need to be like, okay, well, let me take this family picture so I can post it on Facebook so people can know that we're doing well, or so people can see me because they haven't seen me in a while. Or when you go out, you're like, wait, let me get a video of the food, let me get a video of the ocean, let me get it. Like, you're not enjoying the time with your friends and your family. You feel the need, like people pregnant posting like birth videos, which I'm like obsessed with. That's a little, but you know, people posting for, like, you have to think like that now, which is crazy. Instead of you enjoying giving birth, and instead of you enjoying your baby, you're like, okay, post the camera right there, show people. And it's like, it's a good thing because you're showing people what you're going through. You're showing people what it could be like. But then it's also like, just enjoy it. Like, we don't need to see that. You know what I'm saying? So I think that's just another thing too. So for every con, there's a pro. I just think you just really have to decide, like, is this too much? You know, because even now, like, I'm happy that I had the opportunity as a child to play, to go outside and go down the street and make friends and go to the park and go skating and go doing all these things. Whereas nowadays, these kids are growing up with social media, so they see what the adults are doing, and they try to recreate that because it's popular or it's trendy, instead of them being kids. Like, I think a big example is like prom, or just like homecoming, and just different, you know, dances, school dances. They out here blinged out, got the stomach out, they got hair, they wearing makeup now, they got their hair all like, where is the ugly phase? Like, they don't have that because they have all of the exposure of adulthood right there. So I mean, I don't know, tell me what you guys think in the comments below. If you miss life before social media, or if you like social media and you're just like, it's just the best thing that has ever happened to us. Or if you're in the middle, like me. Honestly, I'm in the middle. Like, I like social media. Like I said, I'm low-key obsessed with it, and I can admit that. But I feel like there comes a time where you have to choose peace over what's going on around you. And so that's why I said, like, I started doing like these social media cleanses where I'm like, okay, I need to take a break, because there's no reason why the first thing, like, wake up and I'm on Instagram 7 in the morning, and I'm on, like, ain't nobody even posting at that time. But you know, you see stuff from the day before and all of that. But anyways, I mean, this can be turned into a part 2 conversation, so let me know if you want to extend this conversation about what you think about all these apps, like, kind of jocking each other or copying each other. Like, we can just go way deeper into it. But like I said, social media is just not the same. I mean, it's I just kind of miss life before. Like, I just always kind of think about, I'm like, well, what would I be doing if I didn't have social media? And just, even if I didn't have a cell phone, like, low-key, can we bring back the house phones? Like, can you guys imagine, like, if we didn't have cell phones today? Like, I mean, I love technology, and I love that we're able to just make things that are beyond some people's capability, but it's just like we don't have no, like, you know what I'm saying? We're slowly becoming a lazy society, and I think that I'm not slowly. We're becoming a lazy society, and I don't know how I feel about it. I am stuck in the middle. But anyway, make sure you guys subscribe to my channel. Make sure you guys follow me on Instagram at _star in the making. You can follow my podcast page on Instagram at Easy Breezy Podcast. Let me know what topics you want me to discuss. And yeah, until next time, I'll talk to y'all later. Peace.